All right, so my TED Talk was why social media is consuming the teenage mind, and I still have like a few questions. So like, how do you think social media, like to what extent is social media like too much? Like what do you think is like the limit? Like what you can do on there? Because you can do anything on social media pretty much.
Yeah. Well, they've like added so much dependency on social media when you think of like how businesses work,
Yeah.
how they need to advertise off of it, and also I would say like how you can now purchase stuff off of social media. Despite Facebook Market, Facebook Market is awesome, but
There really isn't a limit, I feel like.
Okay, so this is what I'm going to talk about on my TED Talk, and for years upon years, there's been toxic social media interactions, whether that be on video games, social media apps like Instagram or Snapchat or Facebook, Twitter, or even email. Although the social media era has allowed us to connect with people from very, very far distances, it has unfolded into this dark horror that our youth has to learn how to cope with. And therefore, it can't help their child be safe online. And of course, this is not entirely their fault. I mean, they weren't raised with like Instagram and Snapchat, but they can help their child be safe online. And there's so many sources there. And according to lifespan.org, 43% of teens have been bullied online. 9 out of 10 LGBTQ teens have been bullied online. And 58% have never told their parents about being bullied online. And to put that into perspective, almost 6 out of 10 teens have never told their parents that they've been bullied online. And that really just mind boggles me, because it really is a dark place, and I'm gonna show you how you can prevent it from ruining your teenage years pretty much. And I geared this TED Talk towards a teenage audience, and there are a wide variety of sources to back up the idea that social media is consuming to the teenage mind. It messes with our heads, portrays these false realities, and makes us feel low about ourselves, and ultimately can do some damage to our minds and our perception of life. Mayo Clinic, which is a world-renowned medical facility, claims that increased social media use, as well as extensive nighttime social media use, can be linked to mental problems such as depression, anxiety, and even poor sleep. I mean, it makes sense, right? Social media can be anxiety-inducing with so many expectations on how you look, the number of likes you get, all that stuff. And it's just a status thing. People want status, and they want to be recognized as something bigger than what they are, kinda. And all these factors tie into the idea that teenagers need to be educated and informed on the dangers of social media and proceed with caution. We need to realize that social media can be addicting, like a drug. It can consume us and ultimately do irreversible damage. The dramatic increase in depression and anxiety amongst teens are most definitely linked to social media and just technology use in general. When I was younger, I used to be on social media a lot more than I am now, and honestly, it took a toll. It can be consuming, and it's nice because I can interact with people that I don't really see, and that's the point of social media, right? To be able to interact with people that you usually wouldn't see. But humans have addictive personalities. We have these urges, desires, impulses, you can say, to send these risky messages to someone that you normally, I don't know why it's doing that, to someone that you normally wouldn't say in person. This can open up a big can of worms, because sometimes things can come across in a bad way, and you end up in a lot of trouble. This is something that runs through my mind all the time, because I see kids my age constantly post things that I know that they will regret one day. And once you click that post button, it's there. It's there. You can't get rid of it, and it can't be reversed. And I personally have not. I mean, I've never posted anything that risked my well-being or anything like that. But I know a lot of people who have, and they have faced the deficits of that. Smart Social uploaded a YouTube video titled "The Negative Effects of Social Media," and it goes into depth on the fantasy social media decides for teens. Social media can make you want to do many things you otherwise wouldn't be too interested in, like drugs, alcohol, all these terrible things. And it mentions the better social media sources like YouTube, Facebook, and discusses the worst social media platforms like Snapchat and Instagram. And Social media can be consuming, tiring, and even detrimental to the human mind. We rely on others for validation via social media and struggle with forming and building relationships and bonds in real life situations. Another idea I'd like to point out is that we crave validation. It's natural, it's human, it's part of us. I know that I seek validation on certain aspects of my life, and I'm not afraid to admit it. We love it, crave it, and sometimes go through extensive measures on social media to achieve that. We as a society place these goals to reach a number of likes or just number of views, and honestly, I find it pathetic. I think that it's not really a big deal if you get 50 likes or 500 likes on a post. People portray these false reality of themselves to get more likes, and it harms them with a personality complex and much more. So what can we do about this? The academicdesigner.com is a website that talks about social media usage and gives indications on if you are spending too much time on social media. Some tips they mention is to turn off phone notifications, set boundaries, which is like limit the amount of time you spend on social media throughout the day, and check in with yourself. Make sure you're doing good and not using these expectations people have of you to ruin your day and ruin your life. And make sure, and I think that social media with limitations would significantly improve us as a society and help our youth more than harm. It can help build foundations in relationships. And Tim Denning, who was a blogger on the website Medium, did an experiment where he limited his social media use and describes the positive outcomes of doing so. The person found themselves much more productive than usual and more free, meaning that they've been put in chains from social media because of all these expectations, and it was hard to escape. He recognized his addiction of social media and decided to make a change and this improved his life by a ton. This is a first-hand account of someone who limited their social media use and transformed them into a new and improved version of themselves. Social media is a crucial part of my life and many others. I can connect with people back in New York and talk to them every single day, and that's very important to me. I value that highly. But with that comes a large opportunity to become addicted and ultimately let it consume your life. We as a society need to take more pride in ourselves and discover who we are, and who we want to be without the overuse of social media. Thank you.